Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the intuitive energy forecast for December 10th, moving forward through the weekend, 2021. I'm Arlene Grace, and I'm an intuitive energy life coach channel and mentor. So when I tune into the energy, my heart just closes, as though there's this, like the vision that I get where I see many within the collective, there's this grip on the heart, right? This closing off of emotions. And yet December feels very emotional. Though we have a lot of mental mind energy that's happening right now, December itself is emotional because we are in this energy of seeing the impact through the decisions that were made from the beginning of the year onwards. And so we're beginning to see the impact. It's feeling emotional. We're seeing through the veil. This is a month that is really coined seeing the truth. And of course, we're going to begin with you, the month of facing your own truth, the month of experiencing that through mirrors. And when I say mirrors, I'm not speaking about glass, looking through the glass mirror and seeing yourself. I'm speaking about everyone around you is a mirror. Everyone around you is allowing for you to see aspects of you because you can't see you. You can't. And so how you are responding to what you are experiencing in the world, how you are responding to the sunsets, to the sunrise, to people in your life who may be triggering you, they are all mirroring aspects of you. And so as you see the truth of you, are you willing to allow those to rise up and release? Are you willing to let go of the mask and walk as you? Last month was all about letting go of the mask. And here we are being invited to walk open-hearted, allowing ourselves to know our truth. And we can only know our truth by knowing who we are. And so this energy for this month, it's, like I said, seeing through the place of the illusions. It's seeing where you may have been codependent on another. It's things that sexual abuse, if you have experienced any of that, and many of us have, many of those things may be rising up for you to release, for you to clear. Experiences may be pulled into your life so that you can see these things that they don't belong anymore. And with that, there's this aspect of control. The entire year has been about freedom, discovering what freedom means, discovering that freedom actually comes from within, and spending an entire year where there were different mandates or different rules and regulations and all of these things that were feeling closed in and chronically traumatic. It was an invitation, it was an awakening for us to discover that freedom was from within. And so things will continue to rise up. There is a lot of magic that's in the air, meaning that everyone may be experiencing highly intuitive hits, intuitive downloads. And it's, do you trust your own intuition? Yesterday, it was interesting, like with the energy yesterday, there was this rising up of, are you willing to release whatever comes up? That there were these endings of stories, endings of patterns that could reveal themselves, because December is revealing. And yesterday I was working with someone, and then I just got inundated with all of these emails from this one person. And it triggered me. It threw me into panic because it was an experience that I had had 3 years ago that I thought I had worked through. And in sitting with that in panic, all of my patterns rose up. I didn't want to ask for help. I couldn't even move. I went into panic mode. I went running around looking for how could I fix it, and moments to come in and to, be using my tools worked. And yet I knew that I had to do something different, which was ask for help. And so I did. And in that, there was this beautiful mirroring with that person where she was able to help me to see that a pattern was collapsing, a pattern that did involve sexual abuse, that did involve my own betrayal of self, that did involve my not speaking up for myself, that did involve where I was going outside of myself for love, where I was going outside of myself for money, for wealth, and I was willing to change myself. Totally unconscious back then, and yet only 3 years ago. This journey that we are on, this awakening that we are on, is an awakening to seeing these, how to say it, to see that we are being so controlled, to see the deceit, to see the manipulation, to see it and to stand up before it. Now, it doesn't mean that there is this, I'm going to fight for it, or I'm going to do all of these things, that I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to shame and I'm going to blame in order to control, or that I'm going to do all of these things. The awakening is, am I willing to stop betraying myself? Am I willing to stop abandoning me? Am I willing to discover who I am and the abilities that I have inherently within me? Everyone here is so uniquely patterned with these beautiful, extraordinary gifts. The first that is that you are a channel, that you channel energy constantly. And yet when we hold off and close ourselves to emotions, that we hold them in our bodies, that we disallow ourselves to receive, because it's energetically first, then physical, that we stop ourselves from being us because we forget who we are, that there is this closing off, this closing of this ability to tune into higher thought, higher awarenesses, that each emotion that we have has its own consciousness. And so when I speak to that, it's, if you were to go back to the last time you were in fear, I want you to think about the mind, what the mind was doing, what it was telling itself, what stories were running in your mind. And yet, if we were to go back to when's the last time you felt love? And let's just go to innocent love. So we'll go to, like, when was that last time where you just saw this baby and you were like, oh my God, so in love with this baby. You're just observing this little child and felt that. That had its own set of thoughts. And so where are you? Today's energy is that of being fixed in our thinking, being fixed in our thoughts, being fixed in our heart. And yet the truth is starting to reveal itself through your own experiences, through your own emotions, through the patterns that are rising up in your life. And the only way out is through. Meaning that the only way out is to walk through your own fear. That walking through your own fear is what will create the transmutation, the transformation, the change within you. Everything in life is changing. We know that. That's the only thing that is really constant. And you yourself are always changing. You're not the same person you were last week, or the week before, or the week before. I'm not the same person I was yesterday after I walked through my fear. And so today, it's funny because the song that played through was Footloose. I'm thinking, what? Footloose by Kenny Loggins. And I'm just seeing like the feet dancing, and I'm like hearing the song, and I'm just bobbing to the song. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go see the lyrics. Like, what is it? And the lyrics is, you're playing so cool, obeying every rule. Deep down in your heart, you are burning, yearning for somebody to tell you that life ain't passing you by. But I'm trying to tell you that it will, even if you don't try. Is life passing you by? I know I said it yesterday. If today was your last day, what would you do? And that's exactly it. Are you choosing to live, or are you choosing to die? Are you choosing to live your life the way that you want to live it? Or are you stuck in today's fixed energy? Because today's energy is very much like yesterday, where we have this beautiful opportunity to just let go. And even in that letting go, I felt the fear. Like, what do you mean I have to let go? What I mean is you need to rise up. And need isn't even the right word. It's you get to rise up today. Are you willing? Are you willing to feel into the power of you? Are you willing to align the mind with the heart? To be so grounded and centered in your body. And I can feel you guys doing that now as you listen. To feel so grounded in the body. Feel into the power of who you are. And walk through your fear. Because when you walk through this fear and you walk through whatever it is that you are experiencing in your power, you will discover that you have your own power and they have theirs. That you don't need to give your power away and they don't have to take yours. You get to walk through your fear to see that perhaps it was an illusion. Perhaps in the letting go, you actually did rise up. You actually did receive more than you thought was even possible. And so today, that's your invitation. Today, your invitation is to choose to live. And to begin moving in momentum with that, to begin facing your own fears, to face your own emotions, to face whatever is rising up. And to make some decisions. What do you want? And as we move into tomorrow's energy, man, you're moving into this, I'm willing to leap into a new way of thinking. I see what might be available. I see that there are possibilities, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take that because I'm now going to trust me. That's what's supporting you tomorrow. It feels like all of this energy, all of this, these pieces of information are just going to keep on blipping and popping up. They might show up on your news feed. You might see what's happening in Guatemala. You might see what's happening in, there's so many things. There's so many things that are happening that we don't get to see. And many of the things that we do get to see may not necessarily be true. And in all of that, you know what is true for you. So this weekend, ask yourself, who am I? And start seeing that. Start noticing who's mirroring you this weekend. Because as you start to open your own awareness to that, if you start to be curious of that, you start to realize that everyone is a mirror of you, you get to decide right then and there, oh, I see that I'm triggered. I am done with that. Done with whatever that story is. Oh, man, I see where I am trying to rescue someone. I see where I am living life as though life is happening to me. Mm-mm. Not if you're choosing to live. No one is victim here, but we will continue to play victim as long as we continue to victimize others. And so it's a heavy energy this week. Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I have. So questions, comments, please feel free to share. And again, in January, I'm beginning Brain Game group program, where we will be moving through a 10-week program, a 10-week journey together, where we start to discover who we are, where we start to deepen our love for self, where we come into mind and emotional mastery. And so if you are someone who is someone who knows that there's more, but they can't seem to grasp how that could be possible because they are afraid of being judged, afraid of being different, afraid of not following, afraid of not being the same. If you feel guilty because you're not doing the things that people want you to do, if you want what you want, but you don't know how to get it, then I'm going to invite you to connect with me. And we will get scheduled for a clarity call. Awesome. Wishing you all the most amazing weekend. And I will talk to you on Monday. Bye for now.